Just when Warner Brothers hoped the Supergirl controversy was finally slowing down, everything changed again. With only days remaining before the movie's digital release, James Gunn has found himself at the center of another wave of criticism, while DC Studios is facing growing pressure to convince audiences to give the film one more chance. But here's the bigger question. Is this digital campaign actually helping Supergirl? Or is it becoming another public relations disaster for the new DC universe? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. And if you enjoy in-depth coverage of Hollywood, DC, Marvel, and the biggest entertainment headlines, make sure to subscribe to the Woke Watch and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Welcome back, everyone. One of the biggest developments surrounding Supergirl right now is the studio's aggressive push toward its upcoming digital release on July 28th. Over the past several days, we've seen a coordinated promotional campaign involving James Gunn, Millie Alcock, Supergirl writer Anna Nogueira, and Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav, all encouraging audiences to give the movie another chance once it becomes available digitally. However, there's an important distinction that has caused confusion among many moviegoers. A lot of people mistakenly believe the film is arriving on streaming, but that's not what's happening. The July 28th release is strictly for digital platforms, meaning viewers will need to either rent or purchase the movie through services like Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, Google Play, or other digital storefronts. Streaming comes later, and that's exactly why this release has become so important for Warner Brothers. After the film's disappointing theatrical performance, digital sales represent one of the studio's first major opportunities to recover at least part of the revenue lost during its theatrical run. Every rental, every purchase, and every premium digital sale now carries much more weight than it normally would for a blockbuster release. But here's where the situation becomes far more complicated. Instead of generating excitement for the digital launch, the promotional campaign itself has started receiving significant criticism online. Much of that attention is centered around James Gunn, whose recent public comments have sparked another wave of debate across social media. Rather than simply encouraging audiences to check out the film, Gunn has found himself defending not only Supergirl, but also the entire pricing model behind modern digital movie releases. And according to many critics online, that strategy hasn't gone over very well. For months, Gunn has continued expressing confidence in the project, maintaining that Supergirl succeeded creatively and deserves far more recognition than it's currently receiving. He has repeatedly described Kara Zor-El as an inspiring modern superhero and a positive role model for younger audiences. However, many critics completely disagree with that assessment. One of the most common complaints surrounding the movie has been the way the main character is portrayed throughout much of the story. Some viewers argue that Kara's behavior makes it difficult to see her as the kind of inspirational figure traditionally associated with the Supergirl character, and they believe that disconnect may have contributed to weaker audience interest, particularly among families. As the backlash surrounding the film continues to grow, another reported incident has now become part of the conversation. According to recent reports circulating online, James Gunn faced a hostile reaction while attending a promotional DC event for Supergirl's digital release. What began as a routine appearance quickly turned into another controversial moment after Gunn addressed both the movie's performance and the criticism surrounding it. And that's where this story takes another unexpected turn. According to the discussion surrounding the event, James Gunn used the opportunity to defend both the movie and its upcoming digital release. He reportedly expressed confidence that Supergirl still has plenty of life left outside of theaters and argued that many people have been far too quick to judge the film's overall performance. Gunn also pushed back against the growing number of online conversations focused on the movie's financial results. In his view, many critics are rushing to declare the project a failure before its digital and streaming performance can even be measured. One topic he spent considerable time discussing was the pricing of digital releases. Gunn argued that many people misunderstand how premium digital releases work. He explained that when a newly released movie carries a higher rental or purchase price, it's part of the studio's broader strategy to generate additional revenue after the theatrical window. Using Supergirl as an example, he suggested that a household could watch the movie together for a single purchase price rather than buying multiple theater tickets, describing that as part of the value behind the digital model. He encouraged audiences to give the movie another opportunity once it becomes available digitally, saying the film deserves a second chance beyond its theatrical run. Gunn also revisited a topic he has mentioned several times before, claiming that much of the online criticism directed toward Millie Alcock and writer Anna Nogueira has crossed the line into personal attacks, and he urged people to ignore what he described as toxic behavior on social media. But according to reports surrounding the event, that message didn't receive the reaction many expected. While some audience members initially applauded Gunn's remarks, others reportedly responded with loud boos, creating an uncomfortable atmosphere that quickly became one of the biggest talking points from the event. The incident immediately spread across social media, with clips and reactions fueling another round of debate surrounding both Supergirl and the current state of DC Studios. Now, regardless of where someone stands on the movie itself, this is where things become particularly interesting. There's a major difference between defending a film and explaining the economics behind modern digital releases. Many moviegoers simply look at the final price they're expected to pay. For someone living alone, or even for a casual viewer, spending around $20 to rent or purchase a single movie may feel expensive, especially when they know the same film could eventually arrive on a streaming service, included with a subscription they already have. That's why many observers believe convincing audiences to pay premium digital prices has become increasingly difficult in today's entertainment market. And that's exactly why Gunn's comments generated so much discussion online. To some people, he was simply explaining how the business works. To others, it sounded more like he was lecturing potential customers instead of giving them reasons to watch the movie. That difference in perception may have played a significant role in the reaction that followed. Meanwhile, another challenge still remains. Even if the digital release performs reasonably well, streaming is expected to arrive only weeks later, giving many viewers an incentive to simply wait rather than spend additional money up front. If audiences believe they can watch the movie through their existing subscription in late August or early September, convincing them to purchase it digitally first becomes an even tougher sell. And according to reports, Warner Brothers is fully aware of that challenge, which brings us to another major development happening behind the scenes. As the conversation surrounding Supergirl continues to intensify, reports suggest that Warner Brothers has been reassessing how it wants to promote the film's digital launch. The goal was simple: keep the movie in the spotlight long enough to generate strong digital sales before its eventual streaming debut. But after the recent wave of criticism, that strategy may have become much more difficult to execute. According to the ongoing discussion, some promotional appearances that were expected to support the digital release have either been scaled back or quietly dropped altogether. One of those reports also claimed that Millie Alcock was expected to appear at a promotional event connected to the digital launch, but those plans were later changed as the studio attempted to avoid creating another headline that could shift attention away from the movie itself. Whether those decisions were purely strategic or simply routine scheduling changes, they've only added more speculation about how Warner Brothers is handling the situation behind the scenes. And that's not the only issue creating uncertainty. Attention is now beginning to shift toward the future of the DC universe. With Warner Brothers Discovery going through major leadership changes, many fans are wondering how those decisions could affect upcoming DC projects over the next several years. Another topic generating discussion is the reported planning taking place at the executive level as the company continues evaluating the long-term direction of the franchise. Naturally, that has also led to questions surrounding James Gunn's future roadmap and whether recent events could influence decisions involving upcoming productions. One project that continues appearing in these conversations is Man of Tomorrow. Although the film remains one of the most anticipated titles in the new DCU slate, online speculation suggests that Supergirl's theatrical performance could have an impact on future budgeting discussions. If a major studio release falls short of expectations, it's not unusual for executives to take a closer look at spending on upcoming projects. That doesn't automatically mean future films will face dramatic budget reductions, but it does mean every investment is likely to receive additional scrutiny. And that's why many fans are paying close attention. If Warner Brothers becomes more cautious with production costs or marketing expenses, future DC releases could look very different from what was originally planned. Whether that ultimately affects Man of Tomorrow remains to be seen, but it's certainly become part of the broader conversation surrounding the franchise. Meanwhile, all eyes remain on July 28th, when Supergirl officially arrives on digital platforms. That release will likely provide the first real indication of whether audiences are willing to support the film outside of theaters. However, there's another challenge the studio can't ignore. Many viewers may simply choose to wait. Instead of paying a premium digital rental or purchase price, some audiences may decide to hold off until the movie eventually reaches streaming later this summer. From a consumer standpoint, that's an understandable decision. If someone already subscribes to the platform where the movie is expected to stream, waiting a few extra weeks could seem like the more practical option. And that's why the digital performance has become such an important test. If digital demand ends up falling below expectations as well, it could raise even more questions about the long-term reception of the film. On the other hand, if enough viewers decide to rent or purchase it, Warner Brothers could point to those numbers as evidence that the movie still found an audience beyond its theatrical release. Either way, the next several weeks are going to be extremely important for everyone involved with this project, because by the time Supergirl completes its theatrical run, launches digitally, and eventually arrives on streaming, the industry will have a much clearer picture of how audiences ultimately responded to the film across every platform. And depending on those results, the conversation surrounding the future of the DC Universe could look very different heading into the next wave of releases. So now I want to hear from all of you. Do you think Supergirl can find a larger audience through its digital release, or do you believe most viewers will simply wait until it becomes available on streaming? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to The Woke Watch, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates on DC, Marvel, Hollywood, and everything happening across the entertainment industry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.